right, America. Hugh Hewitt here. Mood swing shift. Guardians are ahead 6-1 over the Tigers, but the Tigers have the bases loaded with 2 out. John Campbell, big Guardians fan, joins us now, former congressman extraordinaire. I have real questions about the shutdown, but first, feel free to cheer on the Guardians, Congressman.
I don't even know what the Guardians are. There's the Cleveland Indians. I know that. And because I'm a conservative, Hugh, I do not use woke language. So I refuse to bend to the language of the woke, which is what they want us to do, but we're not going to do it.
The game is over, John, and the Guardians won 6-1. You know what? I thought you believed in property rights. I thought you believed in property rights. The Dolans changed the name. They own the club. I thought you were a Fifth Amendment guy. You want government regulation on naming, huh?
They are woke, and if I had been a Cleveland Indians fan, I would not be one anymore because it would mean that I have woke owners, and I don't want to support a team
you don't have
with a bunch of woke owners. So I don't.
Your Angels or your Diamondbacks are both out of it. The Guardians won. Let me ask you my serious question. Game 3 tomorrow, yes. America. Start praying for the Guardians. Here's the question. Does anybody really get hurt in a shutdown? Because the back pay is always paid. They usually get it fixed before the military misses a paycheck, because that would make a lot of people upset. Does anyone really get hurt?
In the past, no. Because as you've said, normally what they do is just suspend things. And people don't have to go to work, but when they do get called back to work, they get paid for the period that they were not working because of the shutdown. So in the past, in the end, and we even had, I was trying to add up how many shutdowns I was involved in. It had to be 6 or 7 or something like that. But anyway, I think one of them was 30 days before we caved, and we did cave back in whatever year that was to Obama. But no, in the end, nobody's hurt.
But this is different. This has got Russ Vought, John Campbell's protege. Tell us about Russ Vought.
That is exactly the reason this is different. Russ Vought was, when I was the financial head, I don't even remember what my title was, with the Republican Study Committee. Russ Vought was my staffer on the Republican Study Committee that worked on that. And he ended up marrying a girl in my office. They are now unfortunately divorced, but Mary Vought, I follow her on Twitter. She's now at the Heritage Foundation and is very much involved still in politics. But Mary and Russ met in my office, and so I know them both very well. And Russ
is he going to make them pay?
Yes, he is, because he is, first of all, he's very, very smart, very, very smart. And he will know what to do and how to do this. The other thing is, frankly, and I don't mean this in a bad way, I mean in a good way, he is ruthless. When he has something he believes in and a cause he wants to advance, he is ruthless about advancing that cause. And so there will be no issues for him whatsoever if he can find ways to terminate the Department of Education through this, or terminate a bunch of people at the EPA, or take some of those people that are currently on furlough and permanently terminate them, and basically take a lot of what was Doge and implement that, because this shutdown gives him an avenue, a legal avenue under which he can. Now, understand, I don't know if that avenue exists, but whatever avenues are out there, he has found them. He knows what they are, and he is going to put them in place. And so
we're
going
to see the Vought playbook. It's like the Browns going to play the Vikings. Nobody knows what the Browns are going to do, because they're going to put in Dylan Gabriel, the rookie from Oregon. Nobody knows how he's going to play, whether he's going to be good or bad. Nobody knows what the Vought playbook is, and it's going to be interesting. Now, let me ask you, you're consuming media in the desert. I'm consuming media in the Beltway. The Beltway media, all 9 sources, and I ran through them earlier, New York Times, Washington Post, Wall Street Journal, FoxNews.com, CNN.com, Politico, Punchbowl, Axios, and Semaphore. Not one of them had a headline, Schumer shuts down the government. My argument is it doesn't matter. Everybody knows Schumer shut down the government. Do you agree with me, or do you think the Democrats are winning a media war?
Oh, I don't think they're winning the media war, but neither do I think everyone knows it's a Schumer shutdown. I'm sure that the people who consume the New York Times and the Atlantic and CNN and whatever believe it's a Trump shutdown. And so that's where they are at. But the other thing about this, the shutdowns I've been through is, the president has a whole lot of leeway. And we talked about what Russ Vought might do. But when the shutdowns I was involved with, Obama was president, and he had a lot of leeway. And so he shut down things that Republicans cared about, like all the parks. One of my favorite things as an example of what Obama did during one of these shutdowns, to show you how much flexibility, if you will, that the president has to inflict pain on those he wishes to inflict pain on, so they will lean on the other party to stop the shutdown. Obama, the George Washington Parkway in Alexandria, Virginia. Right, nice little parkway, right? You can ride your bike, walk, run, whatever, right along the Potomac, right?
Yep. I often trundle on it.
Yeah, and you can pull in and park. There's little parking spaces, and it's not staffed. There's nobody there, but it's federal. It's owned by the federal government. During one of those shutdowns, Obama closed it, and the only way to close it was to staff it. Now, it was unstaffed. So in theory, in shutdown, you're supposed to cut people. He added people to go and cone it off, so you couldn't park, you couldn't run, you couldn't ride your bike, and had people patrol it to kick you out if you did. So he actually added cost, but what he was doing is he wanted to make Republicans hurt. He wanted people to complain to Republicans that say, hey, you got to vote to stop this shutdown. So imagine what all those federal workers are going to do to their Democratic friends and colleagues and so forth, or some of the NGOs or leftist organizations. I see Russ Vought already tweeted that there's some huge amount of money that's supposed to go for some Green New Deal thing that he is suspending right now. Well, a lot of the companies and industries that were getting those are going to call their Democratic congressman and say, hey, what are you doing? You're costing me money.
The OMB is in the old executive office building and the new executive office building. And the new executive office building is up 17th Street, and the old executive office. We ought to go there. Someone ought to go there at 1 o'clock in the morning. The lights are going to be on all night long at OMB looking for things to cut. And that's wonderful.
They absolutely will. They absolutely will, and it is wonderful. I agree with you. This is a lose-lose for them, and the only reason they're doing it is they're hard left, as we all know, and because Schumer's worried about AOC and blah 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 and all that kind of stuff. But this is a lose-lose.
See, I didn't mention that. I did not mention that. You brought it up sua sponte. That is exactly what it is. Schumer is afraid of AOC. That's it. That's the whole deal.
Absolutely, absolutely, he is, and so. But it's a lose-lose, because if this continues, I do think on balance, people will understand the Democrats have shut it down. One other thing, and if it goes on, they're going to eliminate a lot of Democratic priority spending. So they lose either way. Well, one of the things I wanted to mention to show that it's the Schumer shutdown.
Hey, John, wait 1 second. Stay another segment with him, will you? It'll give me a chance to get the box score. I'll be able to tell you who got the winning. I think Kate Smith got the win. I'll be able to figure out who got the other home run besides Brian Rocchio and George Valera. All the important stuff I'll be able to give to you live, and then you'll be able to make your last point to me. So don't go anywhere, America, except over to HughHewitt.com. Welcome back, America. I'm Hugh Hewitt. John Campbell stayed over because he wanted to know who hit the Guardians' home runs today. Oh, that's pretty low. That's very low. Where did you find that?
What do you mean, where did I
for the
find
benefit
that?
of
It's
our
in my
listeners,
closet. It's in
John
my closet.
Campbell is wearing a Nationals championship.
No.
We'll get one of those soon for the Guardians.
Not Nationals. No. It's an Arizona Diamondbacks National League Champions shirt.
Oh, that was I see the A now. You have to stand up.
Yeah,
John's you have to jump up and down. Okay, I got it. We'll get one of those for the Guardians soon. John, tell me what the point was you wanted to make about the shutdowns.
The point I wanted to make was shutdowns happen generally, and this time as well, because Republicans want to cut spending and Democrats want to increase spending. What's the compromise? What's the solution? Keep it where it is. That's a clean CR. That's what a clean CR is. In all the shutdowns I was involved with, the solution, the agreement at the end, the compromise was a clean CR, because Republicans don't get cuts. Democrats don't get spending increases. So the Republicans started today. I mean, basically, and offered, okay, here's what's always been the solution. Here's always been the compromise. Clean CR. We don't get what we want. You don't get what you want. We compromise. It's in the middle, and they turned that down. So that's why this is the Schumer shutdown, because this has always been the answer. It's always been the solution to the problem. And all the time I was there, when you put a clean CR on the floor, every Democrat voted for it. Every Democrat voted for it because their government people kept the government open. You know who didn't vote for it? The most fiscally conservative Republicans. They always voted no. Why did they vote no? Because they didn't want to vote for something that sustained spending. They would only vote for things that cut spending. And a clean CR does not cut spending by 1 penny. And
which explains why Rand Paul is the only Republican to vote against the clean CR last night. He
Correct.
never votes for a CR. He never, as a matter of principle, he won't vote for a CR.
He won't vote for anything that sustains spending. It has to cut spending. So that's the thing, is that what the offer here from Trump, from the Republicans, from Speaker Johnson and Leader Thune, is what is normally been, okay, we're not going to get what we want, but you're not going to get what you want. This is the middle ground. And the Democrats have turned down the middle ground. So that shows you where they are today. They are so far out of the middle that they can't even see it, it seems, because they're hard left.
I think they've gone
controlling.
Thelma and Louise. And here's a theoretical question, because I really don't know what their pain tolerance is. When you go Thelma and Louise, there's no backing up. Is there any way out for them at this point other than abject failure?
The only way out, and in the old days when parties would get along with each other and there truly was honor amongst thieves, Schumer could sit down with Trump and say, hey, Don, look, I got a problem with my hard left. I got a problem with AOC. You got to cut me some slack. Give me something. And we'll make a deal here. And you got to give me a little something so I can deal with these people. But, help me out. And people would do that. I was involved in conversations like that with Democrats and Republicans where you were.
But John, although you were a car guy, you were also a real estate guy. And you know what real estate guys are like. And I represented them for 35 years. When they've got leverage, they don't give it away.
No, that's
Donald
true.
Trump might help Schumer out, but he's going to get something, isn't he?
Well, I think it's too late for him to help Schumer out, except to get something now. What I'm saying is this is the way it would have happened before, and it's not anymore. So how do they get out of this? Schumer could say, I still don't want this. There's a bad idea. We need to keep this shutdown going. We need to get the stuff we want, illegal in healthcare, all that stuff. We need to do it, blah, 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 blah. But they release 4 or 5 Democrats to vote the other way. That's the final, I think, the way they get out of it. That Schumer saves face with his base to some degree, but they release some Democratic senators who are happy to vote for it.
They got Shaheen is reasonable. They got Angus King already. They got the Nevada lady who just got one. I keep thinking Ocasio-Cortez because she got 2 last names as well, but it's not. There aren't, like John Ossoff can't vote for this in Georgia, right? No one who's up for re-election can vote for this.
Well, no, I would think somebody who's up for re-election should vote for it. Now, you're saying they can't vote for it because they'll be primaried. And I suppose that's possible, but there's some endangered Democrats, we know.
I think Ossoff loses money if he votes for this. And Ossoff is the most endangered Democrat.
Right, he is.
We will continue.
Well,
the Guardians will move on past the Tigers, and you'll be back next week when we're playing somebody somewhere else, and you'll have to put your sweater, your very old sweater that's about the past, and we look forward here at the Hugh Hewitt Show. It's moth-eaten. The Diamondbacks haven't been in the playoffs. What is that, 30 years old?